Hey, what's up? How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Beyond Charts. New year 2022. We made it. All right. So 2022 markets have been so robust this year. Very giving, guys. Congratulations for all you guys who've been following. It's doing an amazing job. So, moving forward this year, what I decided to do, I'm gonna start doing these little videos for all my followers. The guys been doing it who want to like rock and roll, prepare. It's not about day trading, but it's about pretty much being aware of what to expect for the market ahead of us. So, again, 52 weeks in the year, 52 of these videos on Sundays. And mostly it's for the individuals who are just, don't have access to day trading or the time and just want to know, hey, I'm looking for a good opportunity for a good buy signal. And let's see if we can break out these markets and kind of set the expectations moving forward in the week. So again, no one's going to manage your money more effectively than you are, and it just kind of gives you an extra arsenal, especially when you're talking to your brokers or what you like to get into, what not to get into, what's looking good, what's not looking too good, and also a good way for us to communicate back and forth and find out those key abundant areas that exist every day in the marketplace. So moving forward, let's go in, let's dive in, and let's get to it. All right, guys. So this year I expect to be an abundant, prosperous year. And let's dive in. So right off the bat, I'm looking at the. Let's start off with what we got here, and we're gonna be looking at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Russell again. Just kind of finding out exactly where we are, what to expect moving forward, and so let's see. So right off the bat, as we noticed, the S&P 500, we had a break, super rambunctious, a little bit more stronger than the other two indices right here. And so we'll see and what to expect moving forward. All right, guys. So here's the thing. Federal Chairman Powell, when he speaks, it's important to listen when he speaks because, the dude has some weight, he has some power. And I'm going to see if I can get into, find out what to expect moving forward because that's going to be a key. And I think I have it right here. Let me see if I can pop up. Whoops. No, I can pop up this right here. And we're going to be looking for what to expect this week, right? So we're going to look at the economic calendar, and I think it's coming up right here. So if we look at the economic calendar, I put it up on my Twitter account. If you want to find it easier, it's on my Twitter account as well. I don't really post much there, just kind of been posting just key things that I see that's coming up in the week ahead. So if we notice, it's right here. So again, the calendar key events that I see moving forward. So yes, Monday, this is great. Tuesday, this is going to affect, but the one that's going to affect the markets, like can affect the markets a lot. It's going to be this key area right here. It's going to be the FOMC meeting minutes. So that's where the market is going to dissect exactly what Fed Chairman Powell said. Okay, so that usually is around 2 o'clock, and they're going to be looking for anything that maybe will suggest that there will be faster tapering. Has the stance changed? So again, during the holidays, that kind of went away and we went higher. But notice the S&P could not break 4808, as I'm about to show you in a little bit. So watch what that 2 o'clock p.m. meetings say. Right. We also have. What else that I think is going to be, all right, initial jobless claims, right? So, prior results are 198,000. I think that if they start coming higher, that's going to signal the Fed to kind of move faster with increasing rates. Okay, that's my thinking. But there's many different philosophies in that. We're just going to see how the market reacts to that piece of information. And again, on Friday, we have the unemployment rate, consumer credit, and change in non-farm payroll. So we got to look for that too, if that's getting stronger or weaker. And I think that should affect the markets in one way, shape, or another. What else? Earnings next week, next highlights. So these are the key events that I think that are going to move the markets right here. ISM manufacturing on Tuesday, FOMC meetings on Wednesday, and then on Friday. So I expect a more volatile week coming in next week, especially more volatile than we had last week. As far as on the earnings front, we only have a few things coming up, right? So, but they are coming up. So key thing you want to be looking at this week is Bed Bath & Beyond, is retail. I think that's going to signal to the market what to expect ahead from this dismal Black Friday event that I'm hearing, as I'm hearing all across the board from retailers. Now, the market hasn't reacted to that yet, and I think it's just kind of been avoiding that. But again, we're just gonna, sit back and see what happens when they change their tunes on that. And I say that to you because based on all that information, we barely broke out of that 4808. We were very, very, very robust. But look at the volume that we went up on. That's very weak volume. And I'm expecting a pullback, right? That would be healthy for the market. But again, you never know how far we're going to pull back. So there's a lot of things I'm noticing on the horizon that have pulled back significantly. I'm thinking tech as we look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq has been going sideways, right? And tech is already they're already pulling back, which is great because a lot of the tech are going to announce earnings at the end of January. So a pullback now, like the first 2 weeks of January, okay, we're not going to like it, but that's about 10 days of pullback. How far can we go? And is that going to set up for maybe a run up into earnings? So that might be potential plays that we could set up. So pulling back, I think, is the most ideal way for us to move forward. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now we could go higher. I don't know if we are Fed 4808, but the Fed really hasn't tapered yet, right? Officially hasn't tapered. And when is that going to start? So again, just be careful. Now, the key area for moving forward, watch that 40 on the XPX is that 47.43. If we break that, we're probably going to meet the 50-day moving average, which again has been working as a beautiful level of support with a couple of times we broke through. If you look at all year, we had a couple of hiccups here and there, but pretty much the 50-day moving average is where it's at. Okay, so watch that 46.56. This is probably going to go up. I think it's probably going to go to 46.70. And we're going to be looking for that key area. And I'm going to dive into that after this particular, once we go into the next chart. So Nasdaq. Now the MACD's midstream. They look like they're about to turn over. If they cross here, then that means we're probably going to head lower and we're probably going to meet the 50. Pretty simple logic. If it bounces, it's probably going to retest that 48.08. So again, now on the Nasdaq, working his way lower, same type of deal. Could bounce here, bounce off the 50, right? And then maybe bounce and stay in this area and we'll see. But again, you got the Fed minutes on Wednesday. And I don't think that the market's going to bust a move before that. Okay. So I'm expecting more of a pullback than actually going higher, but I could be wrong. Anything can happen. Just want to be aware of those key levels. Okay. Now the Russell, as you can tell, is stopped right at that 50-day moving average. Now the Russell's a little bit different, right? Because the Russell has banks in it. And when the Russell, you understand, interest rates, they will help out the banks, which they need help. So could it break through? Though you want to watch the Goldman Sachs, you want to watch those guys and see if it breaks through. But otherwise, I mean, Russell just has been in this sideways consolidation, having a hard time above that 2280. Is right there at the 50. The 50-day moves are going to move back. So that's going to serve as a level of supply or resistance, whatever you prefer. But that is right now. But the MACDs are still going stronger. So if the MACDs break above zero, then it's probably going to break 50. Pretty simple, and then it'll work its way higher. If you see the MACDs turning and this is bouncing lower, it's probably going to go lower to that 2140. Okay, so there is some potential, some points there or a trade there for eventually to happen. Now, as far as the VIX, I measured the VIX here, and we're gonna make this a little bit. We're going to make this a little lighter. So we're looking at the hourly, and we look at the hours because it gives us a sense of where is fear or volatility. So as you can tell, compared to, the last 5-6 weeks, this ranges of volatility. Fear has entered into the marketplace. Remember, we were great around 16, 18. Anything we're above 18, we start getting into the fear zone and people expect the worst. So that means there's more put buying, the market is more volatile. And, this is why we had that extreme volatility in the marketplace. So once again, what are we going to be looking at? Well, In this volatility section, what are we going to be looking at? Well, we've been looking at right here. So key levels to watch to see if the volatility is going to enter back into the marketplace is going to be this right here, which is roughly that 1950. I have it at 1948. Is up to you what you choose. But again, if we start working higher, that means that the XPX is going to go lower, right? It kind of has an inverse action thing going on. So I have the alert there. Now that's for the week. Now, if you want to get like a little heads up and to be known, all right, I should be aware now, is you want to be looking at 1827. But I think that once you start breaking that 1950, that fear is going to enter into the marketplace one more time. So now on the bottom, it's clear as night and day. It's 16.66, which is six. It's a nice number. If we start breaking below that, then we're probably going to go higher and retest the 4808. So again, this is how you can utilize the VIX for to see what is going to happen in the marketplace. As you can tell, I have both my alerts there. Now on the Treasury note, we're just consistent holding here. I have my alert about 1.7. But again, we're going to be watching this one as a hawk this week, because if this starts creeping higher, then we could go lower. All right. Pretty simple. And all right. So as far as like the ranges for the XPX, we're going to be looking at this. And again, as well as we're dissecting here a little bit deeper. There's a lot more lines on my screens here. I'm going to apologize. I was working with some volume profile stuff and a lot of different other aspects. But, again, you don't need all that information. You just need to keep it simple. But ideal, what are we looking at? It looks like, like I said all week, that on the hourlies, the XPX is going to meet that 50-day moving average, which is right at 47.62. MACDs are working lower, so this is ideal what we like to see. But expecting the economic numbers that we expect next week, are they going to be enough to bring us higher? I don't know. Again, I mean, I do know. I would love for it to go lower. I don't think they're going to be enough to bring us higher. But again, it's not about my opinion. It's how's the market going to react to that. So how do we know if it's going to react positive? Is if you see these moving lines breaking below zero, breaking the 50, then you know that we're probably going to head to the range of last week, right? So this is the range of last week's XPX action, 4808, and the lows were 47.33. So if we break that 50, more than likely, we're probably going to go to the key area of 47.43, and then that 47.33 was the low, right, when we broke out of that day. But 47.43, I think, is going to be pretty right in that area. And then if we break lower before that, then there's some key areas that we can look for, okay? But watch that, and that might be a trade. Either way, if you're going to trade, that's a trade that we like to take, because we're going to see volume go enter back into the marketplace. Remember, there's going to be much more liquidity into the marketplace. So we're going to find out which way this thing is going to go. All right. On the 50-minute time frame, we're not going to look at that because that's tomorrow morning. But on the hourly, this is what we expect. So again, that's the range. 4808 on the upside and 47.33 on the downside. All right, we're going to see where we land on the market open tomorrow. Okay, so let's dive into it, and what do I expect here to moving forward? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the NDX and kind of look at it. So we already kind of dissected the NDX. We expected this to go down. On the hourly front, again, we broke lower. So this is what I mean. I think that the NDX is probably going to have a date with that 50-day moving average on the daily. So again, who is this going to affect? It's going to affect tech. Okay, so watch the techs. Because I'm starting to notice that the stocks are going lower. And what do I mean by that? Let's look at Google. This is the daily. Google breaking the 50, right? And Google's one of the strongest one, producing pretty strong results. But if it starts breaking down and doesn't bounce above the zero tomorrow morning and doesn't regain that 50, then we're probably going to head lower to these low of 2806. As you can tell, if Google starts falling, then it's going to bring probably all tech down with it. Amazon, we start noticing that Amazon has broken the 300-day moving average, guys. It's off its highs of 37.64, has broken the 50, having a hard time breaking above the 50. Now, the good thing about this is that look at the MACDs. This swing gave you a reason, if you're trading to the downside, that maybe we're coming to the end. There might be one exhaustion sell here. And if there is a sell, it's probably going to go to that 32.75, somewhere in there, and it might reverse. Now, if it does reverse, it could consolidate in this area. Doesn't mean that you should go back in. What we're looking for now, if you want to see the bear trap's set at that 50 days. It's going to be 34.58 for now. That could change, but 34.58, and see how if it can bounce around 3300. Now we're still declining here. And again, so this is a perfect example. If we start selling off on the NASDAQ, this is probably going to pull back. How far back is it going to go? I don't know, but just let it drop. So when I say let it drop, let it drop. No need to chase. There'll be an amazing opportunity to get back into it and get momentum back on our side. Right now, momentum is heading lower. We're closer to the end, but it could look like it can drop one more time. Now on the hourlies, again, this is a trade. If you're watching us, this was 2 days ago. It broke the 50, breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. And I think that the market saved it. It would have gone a little bit lower. But again, having a hard time breaking above this 34.43 and just working its way lower. It looks like it's probably going to head to that 33.11, 3300. Now, if it takes out 3300, it's probably going to go lower. All right, but let's say we can find something. Now, here's the deal. This is probably going to be the company all week long. As I'm telling you, I talked about Tesla. They have big announcements this week. So they have deliveries coming. So a couple things on Tesla. Elon has stopped selling. So that's a good news. And then we expected this to go higher. But unfortunately, we also noticed that Cathie Wood, who her ARK investments did not really do well this year, so she had to do some maneuverments, and we noticed that she sold off some Tesla. So that affected the price of Tesla, and that's why we didn't get the bounce where we expected it, usually on this day on the 29th, and she had 2 days of selling. Now, the good thing, it did hold that 50 at 1056, right? Now, the MACDs are working higher. So right here, two things can happen. Now, those delivery numbers are going to be pretty strong, all right? I kind of expected it. They're already kind of hearing whispers of it. And basically right now, and Elon's tweeting that's going to be an amazing year, abundant. People are translating that it's going to be crazy. So with that being said, if the markets don't sell off too bad tomorrow, I think Tesla can probably move. I don't know. It's the timing, right? If the wave, like the majority of the wave is heading down, and Tesla's heading up, at some moment the majority wave is not going to let Tesla run really rapid, but anything is possible. So watch that. But again, I have my alerts at 1096, and if Tesla takes 1120, if it takes that out, there'll be a lot of bears trapped there, and it can go a little higher. Okay, so what are we looking at the MACDs? If the MACDs can bounce, boom, and bounce off of here, take those out, that might be a nice entry on Tesla. So watch Tesla. On the hourly front, Tesla's just consolidating sideways. As you can tell, it's holding that 1050, 1060 area pretty strong. There's a lot of great things on Tesla. Another company I wanted to look at was ISRG. ISRG had a stock split, and it split for, I think it was 3-to-1 stock split. So you look at it from this particular day, and usually in stock split theory, the stock will come back to a pre-original stock split price within a year, year and a half. So this is one you want to make note. So in a year and a half, it's probably going to go back to that 900 level. Now, very robust. These guys do medical sales. Is having a hard time. Again, it's not going to get up there really fast, but watch 370. That's going to be a key area moving forward right now. Let it pull back, and I think it'll present a nice little opportunity if it bounces off the 50, bounces off the MACD, and maybe could work higher. If you see the MACD turning down, let it pull back a little bit more, and then that might be a perfect opportunity to add into it, especially if you're a long-term investor and you're looking for something that you don't have to manage it as effectively, and you do believe in that stock split theory, right? Because it happens a good majority of the time. Now, the hourly charts, you can tell clear as night as day. They're having a hard time above that level of 360, 379. Let it pull back, right? Let it pull back. Let's see how far back it's going to go. So ISRG looks good as far as moving forward for this quarter. I think that if the markets turn around, these guys do medical sales. Now we got Chipotle. Chipotle sold off pretty good, bounced off the 200-day moving average, and these guys do it right. Okay, so We do have noticed that the inflation is affecting, America. They have raised the burrito bowl, but they say, and then again, I think key numbers when they come out with earnings, and then the earnings comes out, I believe, is the first week of February, right? If I look here, yeah, they haven't have a February 8th is when they come out. So again, I do like this one for earnings play. It came back to the 50. It's right at that level where, there were some sellers and buyers. And if this can turn around and the buyers can come back in, if this bounces here and goes higher, that's going to present itself for a trade into earnings if you believe in that. If it pulls back, I still like it for earnings. I just think I need to let it pull back, and then we'll see what happens. And then we're going to watch it at that 50-day and maybe for a play into earnings. All right, guys. But that's what I see there on hourlies. On the hourlies is holding pretty robust. Let's see if it can take out that headwind on top. Now, everybody's beauty, Apple. Everybody loves Apple, and Apple, I think, is great. And this is one that I was talking about, stock split theory, right? Because so it's still on its way. I think these guys split. Do they have it here? Yeah, split right here, and 4-to-1 stock split. So this was back when. What price was this? All right, let me see here. So on this day, the stock was at 127, right? So they got 3-to-1. So this thing was up in the 121, so 360. So again, we're up at that 177 level. It's still working its way higher, right? So let it do its thing. This was September 1st, 2020. So we're coming up to that year, a year and a half. So again, looks like it wants to go higher. It's still on its way. If it takes out 182, and again, it's just kind of holding, consolidating right here. If this sells off a little bit, watch it because it looks like just kind of consolidating in this area. Levels to watch is 167, and on top 181, 182. That's on Apple. Okay, I'll cover that later. The ones that I wanted to cover that got hit pretty hard. Let me see if I can go down my list and just identify. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. Lam Research looks like it wants to go higher. Shopify, not there yet. Let's look at Netflix. And I'm looking at these from a daily perspective, guys. So Netflix, again, got hammered. If you want to get into Netflix, look at it at 620, got another level at 633, trying to work his way higher, but right now I think we're at the mercy of the overall markets. Roku, is that ready? Now Roku's robust, is bouncing off that 197. Watch Roku because this could turn around. If it takes on that 265, but it's coming across to 50. Let's see how it reacts to that 50. If the MACDs come here and starts turning, if we're doing the same thing we do on the 50-minute time frame, now we're doing it in the hourlies. If it start breaking through, then this can probably, maybe have a reversal for Roku. NVIDIA, right at that 50-day, anything's going to happen at NVIDIA. Prep that for this week because if we start bouncing higher, this can probably start running maybe up to the highs of 335. If we start working lower, it's probably going to go to 270. Pretty simple, straightforward. Melly. Okay, so this is the Amazon of South America. We're sitting at that 1348. This one has been hammered, right? So is it going to break through? If it breaks through, I think Nelly's going to try to make a run before earnings. Now, Melly's earnings are going to be, I believe, it's probably going to be right in, so if I look here, so right now, then this can change. It's February 25th. So you got 2 months. So again, let it do its thing. There'll be a lot of times to get into it. It's still the 200-day moving average is right there, right at that 1530. So is there going to be maneuverment? It's going to have a difficult time getting over that 50. Let's see what happens here. Does it turn around, and base go higher? But watch it. If it breaks through, let it come back and retest, then get back in. So that'd be a play for there. TTD sitting right at that 50, same type of thing as NVIDIA. Can go either way. Can probably go to that 98 or it's probably going to go to 84. Goldman Sachs, let's see where Goldman's having a hard time. So Goldman is telling me, and Goldman has earnings. Remember, the banks announced earnings January 18th. I know before they did an aggressive buyback. So we have to listen what are they going to do. We know they're doing a buyback, but right now it's been sold off pretty hard. As we know, 391, can it get above that 50? I might have a play on Goldman. Not right now. I got to look at it. Now we have also Avgo. So Avgo is the beauty. This one has taken off as earnings. Let it pull back. It looks like it wants to pull back. Let it pull back. See if you can get a nice entry on Avgo. UPST, this is the one that there's been a lot of action activity that's saying going to go higher. And what I mean is going to go higher, it doesn't really look good for a trade. It's probably going to go higher. Because remember, it's at 127, and investors are like, well, it can probably go up to that $200 level. That's 50 points. But from this point of view, yes, we do see momentum shifting. How high can it go? But again, the 50-day is going to come up here. 200 is going to be a key level for that. And let's see what happens there. So that's on Upstart. Hubs is working his way lower, is coming to the end. Can this have a reversal? Watch 692. Zoom working its way lower, guys. This have been plummeted. We know Kathy Wood has been selling Tesla, buying this. Why? I don't know, but hey, let her do her thing. It is coming to the end. We see supply, we see activity buying coming in, but is it enough? Again, how are you going to know? 205. If it starts coming down, that's where the bears are going to be at 205. Let it break above the 50. Let it come to you. Remember, we're also trading before the 200-day moving average. Again, bookings just broke the 200-day, 50 days, looking pretty good. Let it pull back. Let's see what happens there. It needs to break above 24.27. Remember, this is a travel stock. Now, right at that 50-day. Now got hammered. Great earnings. I think now it's going to work its way up, but let it break that 50, 667 to get it better. Bouncing really nicely. If this starts breaking above zero, it's probably going to make its way back up to 700. So watch that one. Coin, again, breaking, just watch it. Got hammered as well, 282. Affirm, these guys do a layaway plan. I don't think these guys are going to come out very well on earnings. When is their earnings play going to come out? So earnings is going to come out, I think it's so they moved the date on this one before. So be careful because they moved the dates on this one. This one's December. It's February 11th. So again, having a hard time with that 108. So let's see. I really don't see anything here that I like. Let's look at the vaccine stocks, see if they're going to be doing well. Myrna just working its way lower, needs above that 50-day 285. Novax working below the 50 and the 200-day moving average, needs just 173. BioNTech needs looks like it can turn here, needs 281. So there was a couple of here that I liked, but again, I think we're at the mercy of the overall markets of what they're going to do. Okay, so once again, just watch it and let's see. Let's look if we can look at the EV space or if I can look at the FANGs. What else do I got here? Let's look at the FANGs. Facebook just broke the 200-day moving average. A lot of headwinds at that 352. Let's see what happens here. If it can bounce off 335 or is it going to work its way lower? Apple we covered, Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft. Again, just having this sideways consolidation as the overall market. So again, let the markets pull back. I think that we're going to have a volatile session this week. And let them pull back. You let them pull back, especially if the FOMC meetings, let everything set up nicely. So I think this week, because we ran up last week, we really didn't sell off. And I think this week is a week of a pullback. All right. So I could be wrong, but I think that's probably going to be it. If you want to follow more, guys, make sure that if you like what I'm broadcasting here, if you like this type of setup, let me add myself back here because I'm still new to this. If you like this setup, guys, do me a favor. What I've done moving forward, I've also added, because a lot of guys were like, guys, you should, have people buy your drink. Unfortunately, I just moved to Miami, so that's not available. But I tell you one thing, you could buy me coffee for a brief. So I just put it up here for a link for $5. You can buy me coffee. So there you go. And that's the way of you giving back. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. I do have what else do I have up here? I do have the broadcast ready for tomorrow morning, and that's when I'm going to go into deeper detail of what I see because anything can happen overnight. So just know that if you're not following this already, just come on here, go to 126, and I mean not 126, that's the subscribers I have, but here are the week's sessions. I'm going to put the other two, but it's going to be all week. And then that's it. And by the way, here's a link if you want to buy me coffee. Just go there. Hit me up for coffee if you want to do that. You don't have to, but it's there just in case if you feel like giving back and you made some money on these trade setups. If not, not a problem. But anyway, guys, hope you guys had a 2022. I'm super excited for this year. Oh, let me cover Bitcoin because I know a lot of you guys cover that. And right now, Bitcoin is doing the same thing that I said is doing. So watch Bitcoin is just sitting right there. And actually, you're not, guys, you guys aren't watching it. It's sitting right there. And again, not really doing anything. It's just kind of sitting. And I had a conversation with a good buddy of mine today, and you're not gonna bless him. Gotta be able to learn. So I look at Bitcoin from a very daily perspective. At clear as you can see, my analysis hasn't changed. We're in this range, but today I decided, let me look at Bitcoin from his point of view, and I decided to do that. So on Bitcoin, he looks at it from a monthly perspective, right? And on the monthly perspective, it's the same type of deal. So what I'm looking at from the monthly, if this starts breaking down, right, then, and again, we're looking at 30 days. If this starts breaking down, then I see Bitcoin probably heading back to these lows of 29, maybe 30,000. Now, mind you, we're looking at monthly, so this is not daily, so meaning that you have about 30 days of this to happen if we do not get a bounce. And what I mean by a bounce right now, what we're looking at, this is a nice pattern that I see here. We need to break above that 40, same levels I said before, that 48, that 49,000. So if I go back to the dailies, you can see we need to break this level here, or that level of 49,000, for it to show us that it's bouncing. And when it bounces, that means that maybe we're probably going to go a little bit higher. And let me see if I can go back to that monthly, that we're probably going to go higher. And when you have bounce, we need candlesticks to start promoting up higher. So the next month needs to go higher, right in this range. And then that's going to tell us that Bitcoin and the MACDs will start turning. And that means that Bitcoin could be chugging away up to those levels of 100,000 or whatever level you think is going to go to. Now, this is monthly, so you have to wait 30 days. If you don't want to wait 30 days, you can work weekly. And from the weekly perspective, what I see the opposite, right? Because normally we're holding that 50-day, which is great, but we should be bouncing. Now, these are 5 days or 7 days, because it is Bitcoin, that we should be bouncing, and we're not getting the bounce. So there's not a level of conviction that's coming into the marketplace that should be bouncing. So that's kind of like, but anything can happen. It's still holding that 50. So there's a fight there clearly. Now the MACDs are working his way lower. So if this can hold here and work its way lower, we're going to see what happens at that 50. Is it going to break through or break down? And watch the price action. So that's on a weekly perspective. On the daily, pretty simple. It's just telling me it's in this sideways consolidation until it's not, and it breaks down, or is it going to break up? But again, just be patient. So this year, guys, it's really all about being patient. Being patient. Let the setup come to you. Again, what I want to do moving forward, I want to just kind of use my system and put up some videos up there and kind of do this every Sunday night, record them, put them out there, and just kind of set up the trades for the week and see what to expect. Right now, I expect the pullback to be imminent, so I'm not really seeing a lot of great entries, with the exception of a few that we talked about today. I think CMG, NVIDIA, and Tesla. But let it pull back. I think it'll be healthy for a pullback and set us up nicely for some good news down the road, right? I think that we probably should pull back. All right, guys, but that's all we got, guys. So this was a video that only 33 minutes. Amazing. All right, guys, I'm going to record this. And again, this is week 1 of 52. This is Beyond Charts. I don't know what to call this guy. But anyway, if you know what to call this, let me know. Tell me, what do you think we should call this? What should we call this? Let me know in the comments, and we'll let it free. And we'll call it that. All right, guys. Take care. I'm going to go to sleep. It's 7:30. I know for my West Coast guys, it's around 4:30, so still enjoying your day. I'm going to enjoy my evening. I'm going to do a little bit more research, dig in here, and prep for tomorrow morning. All right, guys, take care. I love you. God bless. And have an amazing year. For those of you who I haven't really discussed or even talked to, have a great new year. Let's kill it. Let's ride some waves together. All right, guys, take care. All right, bye-bye.